If you'd like to reach our program this morning, you can do so by giving me a call at 736-0300. You can also email me, too. It's bill.colley at townsquaremedia.com. Bill.colley at townsquaremedia.com. Got a couple of things I wanted to mention in a minute or so about, a bad decision being made at one of those schools again where you've got administrators who think they've got to kowtow to the politically correct, becoming more and more prevalent across the country. Before I get to our next caller, I've got a caller on the line right now, and we'll get to our caller in a moment. I just want to remind you, this time of year, of course, we're not dealing with the effects of heat pouring through your windows as much as we were in the summer. Still, the UV rays in that sunlight can be damaging to your furniture, your carpet, your drapes, even photographs you have hanging on the walls. I mean, it's got a bleaching effect to it. So we've been recommending that you give the good people at Tint Lady a call and have them come out and do a free estimate on tinting your office windows, your home windows, even your automobile. They'll do paint protection as well. The number 736-8469, or go online at tintladyidaho.com. Hours Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday by appointment only, 1887 Highland Avenue East in Twin Falls. Reminding you, too, that they have more than 20 years of experience over at the office, locally owned and operated as well. And remember, don't squint, get tint. We have a telephone caller with us. You're on the air with Bill Colley on Top Story on News Radio 1310, KLIX, and what's on your mind?
Yes, Ambassador Stevens, if I'm not mistaken here, Bill, was gay. And if you've seen these pictures of how he was tortured, literally, I may not agree with the lifestyle, but they're still a child of God as far as I'm concerned. And he didn't seem like, he was overtly gay. He was just privately gay. But they castrated him and tortured him like there's no tomorrow. Now, they killed the others, but they tortured him. You see, it's an issue that needs to be remembered as to why they did what they did to him and what could be coming our way if we don't wise up.
The official record says he died of smoke inhalation, but stories are that he was sodomized with a pike or a large wooden stick, and you can see all of the cuts and scrapes on his legs and the bruising. So yeah, they roughed him up. It was pretty severe. And then the two guys that were left over, who were the last two guys on the roof who were trying to fight these goons off, they were begging. They were begging for someone to come and give them assistance. And everyone sat on their hands. And as I mentioned on the program yesterday, a radio consultant by the name of John Lund, shortly after all of this happened, John Lund happened to be over at Armed Forces Radio in Sicily, and some of the officers there told him they were ready to go, but someone, and only one person could call it off, someone called off the rescue mission.
I'll tell you what, 600 requests for more security in 2000, previously in 2012. I may be wrong. I mean, the evidence is so unbelievable mounting, but you see, I guess there is really no smoking gun. And that bag, that lying bag, sits there with her pierced, wrinkled lips and lies and acts like it means nothing. I guess lying anymore doesn't mean a thing anymore. What kind of example do you think our kids are learning from all this?
Look, I have some experience dealing with Hillary Clinton when she was a U.S. Senator in New York State and was a frequent guest on my radio program until we had a falling out, and I used to meet her in person at various events. All I'm going to tell you is when she speaks to you, it's like she's painted on the smile. It's like she's wearing a mask, and deep down in, she's cold and she's calculating. I don't believe there's any real serious emotion there in her life. I don't. When she said yesterday that she was, deeply troubled by having to meet with the families and lost sleep over this matter, baloney. It's a machine, and the machine doesn't.
Laughable. Remember how when they were finally exiting the White House, and there was the reports how they just tore hell out of the building like white trash. They stole things or tore things up. You remember that?
I do.
And it wasn't just some made-up thing because they left it a mess. What kind of person who was the first lady would have done anything of Bill? He was off, fooling around. She was the vindictive
Well, thanks for the call. I'll add to that. Of course, you still have women in comfortable shoes who will vote for her no matter what she does. And it's their knee-jerk response because she told them she'll get them lots of free things, and as the country circles the drain and can't pay its bills, she'll ensure that they can all get married. That's all they care about. 838. Speaking of the families of the people who died at Benghazi, Michael Ingmeyer is the uncle of Sean Smith. He was one of the security people there who was killed. And Mr. Ingmeyer was speaking on Sean Hannity's program last night.
I think Mrs. Clinton really should consider resigning from ever running for any public office at this point. She's incompetent. I mean, if she's not duplicitous, she's definitely incompetent, and neither personality trait really belongs in the office of the president. I mean, come on.
Hearing 600.
No.
Hearing that 600 separate security requests were made and they were denied. Do you blame them for what happened?
Absolutely. I blame them for instituting an illegal regime change, for running guns, for lying about it, for not protecting our people. That's the first rule of thumb for military protocol. You never leave anyone behind, and if you can't rescue them and keep them whole, you at least bring home the body. And it's just horrific that we had this woman and this current president running this fiasco.
Fiasco, great way to put it. We've got a couple of things I got to share with you in a few minutes. Environmental stories. If we can break away from Benghazi for a few minutes. Looks like the lefties are doubling down on their global warming claims and trying to bankrupt the planet. I want to share a few details about that in a few minutes. Also, a candidate for Twin Falls City Council going to be joining us just after 9 o'clock news this morning, Neil Christensen. It's 8:40. We'll call it 8:40. It's pretty close, and it's 45.